Well, certainly seeing all of this coming together, like Chris was just talking about, is amazing to see. But we know that this is a lot to process. The loss of life, the devastation, the amount of grief. We wanted to bring in one of our good daytime friends, Dr. Natalie Pickering. Obviously, mental health is what you do, and we're usually talking about kind of working on ourselves and how we can really feel like we're hitting what's important. Now really pushing all that aside to talk about just what this region is going through and, and where to even start.
Yes.
Everybody is affected.
It's true, and we know, I mean, Tennessee knows how to volunteer.
Right.
And Appalachia, when I think of the people here, it is hardy, resilient, and we have a trauma story that is impacting our region. And I think the easiest way to think about trauma is it's disordered fear and it's disordered grief. So as we navigate this process, right, I think that gives people just a good general framework around what they're seeing each day, you know, the loss that has happened individually to our town. And we're also, I mean, all of our attempts are focused on getting resources to people, trying to, you know, preserve life, save life. So in this moment of logistical focus, weeks from now, months from now, do not be surprised. I don't want people to be surprised when, you know, trigger memories may pop in on them or an overwhelming emotion is going to sneak up on them, because all of these efforts are, you know, we don't have time right now. We don't have the luxury of processing all of this emotion. So I just want people to know weeks, months from now, we need to be keeping tabs on each other emotionally, for our mental health, psychologically.
And I think that you're definitely seeing that through the volunteers who don't want to take a break.
Yes.
They're out there at first thing in the morning. They're donating what they can. It's like we're just kind of on autopilot, trying to get to those that we...
Exactly. And that's, we're in sort of a survival mode, right? We just want to make sure that once we get some recovery happening, once we start stabilizing, then we make time for all of the emotion. Because in the middle of trauma, what's happening, there isn't the luxury of processing that emotion. It's almost like it gets stored in a different place. We have to go back and honor that sad, that fear, that guilt, that whatever those emotions are, get that connected back to all of these things that we've seen so that it can be metabolized and digested emotionally.
Yeah, you just feel for all of those people who have lost so much, and then you have the people that may not have even lost power or may not have even lost water, that have homes that are intact, and you almost have that survivor guilt that I you know, personally, I'm okay, and my neighbor 5 miles down the road. Yes,
and survivor guilt is also a real thing, and I think we can have honest dialogue about that, right? Plenty of people, in my own circle, I mean, I'm just seeing businesses, everybody's doing what they can, opening their homes, everything, let me share my resources with you. And those who weren't impacted as much, we still want to acknowledge that feels yucky. You know, and that guilt and survivor guilt is also real.
And so for those who are, you know, who have lost so much, I know you have devoted kind of part of your website to just some tips, some things that people can be thinking about as they start to process, because I think it's going to hit people at different times. It's almost like I think there's still a lot of shock.
Absolutely, and that's an important thing to remember, that the trauma impact and the recovery process, it's different for everyone. So even if you know someone, well, they don't seem to be as impacted emotionally as I am, that's okay. There's lots of reasons for why that is. The downloadable is available there's a banner at the top of my website that people can access. But I think to sort of sum that up, we want to honor right? All of the emotions we're feeling, right? We can be strong, we can be resilient, we can be hardy and sad and devastated and afraid and confused and all of those things. The basics, right? Eat your food, drink your water, rest, the whole, put your mask on when you're on the airline, before you put it on to your child. Like, don't exhaust yourself because then you're not able to help. Ask for help if you need to. And then I think, just for all of us, lightening expectations of yourself. I think about workplaces. I think about, can we be really sensitive to our colleagues, to employees who may be in a very different situation than we are, day to day. And it will change day to day.
Grace and patience.
That's right.
And I'm certainly seeing that around the community.
I know.
All right, we're going to give you the website that she was talking about, yourhighestplace.com, and there at the top of the banner is where you can click to get some of those and maybe share them even with your neighbors who are going through a lot as well. All right, we're going to take a break. We're back with more of Daytime right after this.